Welcome to Make It Heard After Show. I have the writers from Eulogy to Ron. Could you all introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm David Howarth, and my eulogy is Lisa Martinez from New York City.
Hi, this is Irene Stewart. I'm one of the writers of Eulogy for Ron.
That's his wife, Sarah Hudson.
Hi there. My name is Sue Folks, and I wrote the eulogy A Big Brother about Ron, spoken by his younger sister Frances.
My name is Ted Grant, and I wrote Forbes Anderson's eulogy for Ronnie Hudson.
Hello, I write as E. Rupert Gray, and I wrote Joe for Eulogy for Ron.
My name is Tony Kelly, and I've been writing for about 2 years, and I recently tried writing for audio through Make It Right, a meetup group. My eulogy was called Diana, Ronnie's daughter, the last 10 days, and I tried to encapsulate the sorts of emotions that must be present in those rare situations when profound changes are dropped like this into your life.
My name is Jeff Dunn, and I wrote the eulogy Dark and Mysterious.
This is the one with Hank the Naughty Postman, isn't it? I suppose it's my turn now. My name's Sharon Coltman. I run Make It Right and Make It Heard. I wrote Maureen, who's Ron's mother.
Hello, I'm Stephen G. Titley, writer, actor, stand-up, do a bit of singing, but definitely can't dance. I wrote the eulogy for the character Harold Horns.
I'm Matt Shield, and I wrote the eulogy from Luke Hornby.
I know a lot of new writers will be listening in tonight, and they're quite interested in technique. So how did you go about writing for this challenge? How about you, Jeff?
My technique for writing this was pretty much the same as I use in most cases when writing something short, which is I get a picture in my head of the character, just kind of feeling it out, not necessarily sort of a visual picture, but just in a connection kind of emotional picture of who this is. And I plop them in a particular situation, in this case in the funeral home, giving a eulogy, and I just let them go and do my best to try to keep up typing as the character is speaking. And then after I've captured as much as I can, I kind of go back and look at how it all came out and do a little polishing here or there, try to smooth it out from the perspective of what would somebody want to hear as opposed to just what immediately somebody might want to say. So just making the lines flow a little bit more. And that's pretty much it.
How about you, Ted Grant?
How did I write it? That is a really good question. I just tried to use the criteria of the challenge as much as I could and work it into the script, because they were all really interesting elements that you kind of had to work with. So, he worked away a lot. Nobody knew what he did for a living. The fact that he had a wedding ring, but we didn't know anything about his marriage, and that he lied a lot. So they're all really good things to work with. So I tried to work those in as much as I could. And I had this idea for this character, Forbes Anderson, as I said before, who I don't know much about people who own estates and people who do shady businesses. So I thought that was a really good start. And just sort of make him and Ronnie get tangled up in something and they can't get out of it, and it gets worse and it ends badly. And that was the kind of idea, really. And I just started writing stuff down. But it wasn't until I went for a long walk around the park, and this is where lockdown is like really handy, because you just get lost in your thoughts. And I just began to think more and more about the script and more about what sort of character Forbes is and what they get up to. And I particularly thought about Paul Auster, who's an American novelist who writes these sort of mystery novels with these really strange and odd sort of shady characters. And he was somebody who popped into my head. And in his novels, things just get weirder and weirder and more unexplained. And I thought, you know what, let's just go for this and just keep making it worse and worse, and just don't hold back on what kind of characters these two are, because I kept sort of coming back to the original premise of the challenge, which was to have fun, and that's what I tried to do. So the more I thought about it, the more I thought it'd be a good idea to make it stranger and worse and kind of a bit more over the top. So it was really good fun. The editing part of it was quite tough because it's such a short piece. I had to edit it quite a lot, and it's a good way of being economic with your writing. I thought that was a really good aspect of the piece, and I really enjoyed that. Yeah, fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Good stuff.
What inspires you, Sue?
Most of my writing is inspired by fact, laced up with lots and lots of fiction. In this case, inspired by a certain 60s party dress that my late big brother had bought me with his very first wage packet from North Thames Gas. In conversations during his dying years, I found my brother to be a man of secrets, not bad ones, I hasten to add, but some of these he shared with me. I think many British men are secretive, stiff upper lip and boys don't cry, all those old chestnuts come into play. And I picked the much younger sister's perspective as I found that interesting, as she had always looked at Ron from afar with a child's eye view, even as an adult, quite similar to me, in fact. For writing, I think a eulogy is a great way to start some of your character backstories. I actually enjoy crafting eulogies, period, and have done many for family and friends, as otherwise you tend to get some crumbly old priest talking complete and utter bollocks about your loved ones, or even your despised ones. Shame we don't all voice our thoughts in the living years, as they would say. Though I guess that's a bit British yet again.
David, how come as you chose New York?
I thought that New York was a good place to go because maybe no one else would have gone there. I like the idea that Ronnie just made up his name based on the Hudson River, and he kind of left that with Lisa as a legacy, so she would be reminded of him every day she walked past that river. So I started looking at the city of New York and looking in detail at places because I wanted to find my location, and I found a little restaurant called DeFazio's. So the whole story started there. And I wrote straight into the computer, splurged out a load of thoughts, and then from then on it was just edit over and over.
Strangely, somebody else did actually go to New York for their character inspiration. Steve, can you tell me a little bit about how you wrote your rap?
With this sort of piece of writing, the eulogy task, this will make me sound cooler than I am, because I'm not very cool. But I've been watching hip-hop documentary been on about hip-hop of late on Sky, and then a documentary about the Wu-Tang Clan, famous hip-hop artists from New York. So I wrote a bit of a rap, or a diss song, where you diss somebody by the medium of rap, sort of based on inspiration from the bridge wars they talked about in New York between the Juice Crew over the bridge and stuff, and also there was a feud, weren't there, with Ice Cube, NWA. He wrote a diss song about the rest of NWA. Again, makes me sound a bit more cool than I actually am, but that was one of the reasons I read it out to myself. I was trying to get a rap out of it all. A bad rap, of course, nothing like as good as NWA or indeed the Wu-Tang Clan.
This actually inspired us to get Royce Rothschilds on board because he's a really good rapper from the locality, so we got him to do the theme music. Matt, why did you choose somebody who owned a garden centre?
I thought of a serial killer in plain sight would be fun, with my character not realising. My character runs a garden centre and doesn't think it unusual for customers wanting to buy spades and plastic sheeting at all. The premise of the eulogy for Ronnie was that he was a lot of things to different people. There are some clues about him that lent itself to a sinister, darker undercurrent in plain view that no one is aware of because they only know a little of his life. The full picture would be revealed when all the pieces are heard at his eulogy.
So we've been doing these challenges over lockdown for Make It Right and now Make It Heard. What have you thought about them? Do you enjoy them?
The Make It Right challenges run by Sharon Coltman are great fun, and I would definitely recommend anyone to enter at any skill level. They're very regular and you will get to meet new people and improve your writing and idea skills. So definitely good fun.
Yeah, I will always enter Make It Right competitions and challenges. It's great. I really enjoy it. It's a real stimulus too, and the fact that they're all different pushes me in different directions and gives me ideas about how to do things and different ways to do things. So yes, always keep them going.
I've entered a number of Make It Right competitions and projects, and I really enjoy them because I find them very interesting and very challenging. And yes, I would hope to send in some more submissions, and hopefully I'll be lucky in the future.
These challenges feel like having a workout, keeping the creative muscle flexing.
This was a great challenge from Make It Right. I really enjoyed it, and I'd certainly recommend a writing challenge like this. They've kept many writers sane during lockdown. An audio format, I think, has become much more of a presence in many lives during this very strange time, very, very sad time. Personally, I never connected with radio and audio format, as I've always hated being read to. Another childhood secret, I guess, perhaps one for another piece. But you know, I'm really into it now. Great, get a pair of headphones on, grab a glass of wine and go and take a bath. Can't beat it.
I suppose that the big thing for it for me is that, as a lot of people say, it is just the mind and the voice. So you can take it off into outer space and you don't have to worry about getting the set or paying for expensive CGI. So I think it just gives you a breadth of imagination, and you can concentrate on the voice rather than the voice and the images, so you can have good fun doing the characterisations when you're writing it or acting it.
My parents have listened to Radio 4 for donkey's years. My mum's like a religious listener to the Archers. They listen to the afternoon play together. But obviously it's not just about that. It's obviously it appeals to a younger audience as well. There's been a huge renaissance in audio books and audio serials and podcasts and these kind of things. It's back with a vengeance, you know, if it ever went away. So it's a really important and thriving medium, and people still love to listen to things and paint pictures with their mind, and it's a really sort of evocative style of drama. So as writers, that's exciting. It's exciting to tap into that world. So yeah, I'll be looking to do lots more writing with a mind to audio drama.
Thank you, writers, for coming today.
I said Ronnie was a lonely guy. 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 See, Uncle Ronnie used to drive an HV lorry, was a bad little toffee and he never said sorry. I remember sitting with the coffee, he was chewing on them cough sweets, said nothing's gonna stop me. But Uncle Ronnie was a loner, he looked like a Simpson, I used to call him Homer. War stories, how he was a soldier, if you needed help you got the cold shoulder. He used to drive the 06 Rover. But I wanna tell you something simple, the man was nimble, he would scrimple. Me auntie found his gimbal and said he was a right up mucker. I just wanna say farewell, motherfucker.